is Flash Talk, the Uncut edition. Say it just how you feel it.
No filters, no fluff, just real talk with the full Flashpoint fam. Get with it.
From hot takes to belly laughs, the crew is locked in and ready.
From debates that might get a little spicy, including all VIP members.
This is where vibes meets voice, jokes meets truth, and we talk things.
We are here to get real.
It's raw, it's real, and it's about time.
Small island, but big conversations.
This is Flash Talks, the Uncut edition. Flash Farm. What are the things then now? Real people, real voices, real conversations.
Flash Talk, the Uncut edition, at 7 p.m. every Thursday, right here on Flashpoint.
I want to say good evening, Flash fam, everywhere you are this evening. It's another Flash Talk time again, of course. Once welcome to Flash Talks right here on Flashpoint Media. Alright, so this evening we have a very interesting topic we want to talk about a little bit. When music hits, you feel no pain. Of course, joining me this evening, we have our panel here this evening. And I want to just introduce our panel, of course. Joining me this evening are a few of our Flashpoint presenters. I want to say that, we have been doing quite a bit here at Flashpoint with so many different programs. And today we want to talk a little bit about one of our icons that we, over the years, grew up with. And this lady, really has impacted the world stage in so many ways. And individual lives. I could imagine growing up, we all experienced one way or another this lovely lady's musical talent as it came across the screens or your radio waves from time to time. And so this evening we wanted to pay our respects and of course in solidarity with the world and the family, and for those who have benefited from this wonderful individual in so many ways. Of course, this person is none other than the great Dolly Parton. And so tonight we want to touch a little bit on that, talk about music and of course how it impacts our lives. For a long time, I would have talked about music and the way music works and the influence that music has. In fact, I would tell everyone that music is what you call a culturing tool. And if you're going to culture or change the culture of a society, the first thing you do is start to change the songs that you sing or the way the music is played. And immediately the culture will start to gravitate towards that. Of course, I'll introduce our panel this evening. Joining me this evening is the man Mario, and of course, the man Mr. Dez, and Mr. Edgar Bennett in studio this evening with me. I want to say welcome to everyone right here on Flash Talk this evening. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening.
As I started the conversation this evening, and I said, Dolly is let me just say Dolly, right? We're not going to leave. We're just going to leave off the last part because most persons who know her know as Dolly. Yes. Nobody does call her Dolly Parton, Miss Dolly Parton. No, it is, if you're going to even give a Grammy to her, and I think I came across where she got over somewhere 100 Grammy Awards or 50 something Grammy Awards. I am not sure what the number was. I read it somewhere. I think we were on the program, myself and Lady Elise on the Breakfast Hour 2 mornings ago. And she read something to the effect that she collected so many awards. Mario, if you could pull that up. But in the meantime, we wanted to say that this lady has touched so many lives in so many ways. I grew up on the songs. And you know, in fact, the most popular of all the songs that most people remember is the 9 to 5. And that song for everyone meant something for them. And if you're going to work, or as I used to drive to work many times, and Magnus in the morning would put on one of those songs, and I would grab, Daddy would come on, and we'd just be rocking in the car. That song gets you every single time. And you know, for me, she was someone that I really truly respected. Everyone loved, every single person loved, and I believe that she is emulated in so many different arenas, and many persons, you know, want to be like her. Even this soft-spokenness of Dolly. I don't think she could shout. Do you think she could shout? I don't believe Dolly could say. I don't think she could curse or she could shout, because she just sound like.
High note. Yes. You know. she can hit a high note.
She can hit a high note.
Can, yeah.
Well, here's the one that gets me. When Whitney Houston picks up her song and made it another number one hit, and it was selling millions. This was the storyline that came back. Called her up and said, "You're not going to do something about it. This young lady took your song," and she says this song is making millions, and it is not making just millions for her. It's making millions for me. Why would I?
Yeah, because she retained the songwriter credit.
Songwriter's credit for the song, right?
Businesswoman as well.
Right? And so this is one of the things that came out of the story. And I was just so impressed with that conversation that I just laughed at it. That someone would want to bring that up. And, you know, and how she dealt with it was remarkable. So I am, for myself, thinks that if we have more people like that in the world, what would our world be like today? That's how I would start this conversation. Welcome to Flash Talks, everyone. If you're joining us for the first time, welcome. For those who are long-time viewers and our Flash fam, welcome again. Of course, we're going to be having a long discussion today. And this is just one of the many topics that we're going to be talking about. Mario, for you, I know that you are a Dolly Parton fan, and you love the songs that she sings. And of course, not just that, but you grew up on this lady as a icon in music.
I think one of my favorite Dolly hits was Islands in the Stream. I distinctly remember being in grade 3 or grade 2 in primary school, and that song was the biggest hit. And it was
Island in the Stream. Everybody was singing it.
Islands in the Stream. And yeah, if you were caught singing that, people would look at you at primary school and go, "Huh? We were sing both." Because clearly you're a child. What do you know about Islands in the Stream and all of that stuff? But she had that impact. And I remember at that young age watching the movie 9 to 5.
Yes.
And then there was a series that came out based on the movie. And, you know, all the characters from the movie were portrayed in this weekly drama thing, sitcom going on. And yeah, she really had an impact on us. Of course, she had the look, she had the big glamorous blonde hair, and then, you know, she had that high-powered chest, and, you know, she was always very, and I saw it in an interview later in life where somebody asked her about, you know, her femininity and why she's never changed. And she said, well, she's always been very feminine, and she always think that's in chic, and she don't see any reason to change it because it's working for her. And I have to agree.
Amazing. I mean, of course, you know, Mario, as you made that point, you know, I think that most persons, if not all, as men, let's use the men, just think that she's a sweet woman.
Yes.
And as youngsters growing up, she was somewhat along the line shape how you would view women and how you want to. I don't know. Listen. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just. Maybe it's me. But I mean, Edgar, you know, I don't know. I see you laughing when I said made the comment. I saw this laugh a while.
Many people remember her for her song Jolene, but I remember her for this song, this religious song that she did. hold my hand lest I lose my way.
Oh,
Yes.
she did
Oh, well, all right. You went a little deeper. You went a little deeper than all of us.
As a matter of fact, I posted it on my Facebook page earlier this week that I still say that prayer. Hold my hand lest I lose my way.
Wow.
And I've been saying that prayer since I was a young man. Much
Young.
when I was a younger man. And I started writing songs from I was a child.
Right.
And those words, that song are
Resonated.
still as relevant today
Yes.
as they were then. And Mikey G, you mentioned the whole notion of the impact of music on culture. I remember coming across this quote by Plato. Musical innovations is full of danger to the state. For when modes of music change, the fundamental laws of the state always change with them. So music has much more than, well, an impact on society or the social condition of society. It has also an impact on the political life of a society. Music pretty much is everywhere. You know, every heartbeat is music. Every breath that we take is music. We can't escape it. And the thought came to me that we should be the one to play the music and not let the music play us.
All right. For our listeners who are just joining us this evening, of course, we are talking about when music hits, you feel no pain. And as our topic is so powerful and so strong, here is our icon, the Robert Nesta Marley. And an icon like that. We are just borrowing this phrase a little bit this evening. We wanted us this evening look at the impact of music, how music has shaped our society, how it has cultured us, how it has some point changed night and day. You're still living, but your life and everything around you has changed night and day. The music has changed just the same. Des didn't get a chance to talk a little bit on Dolly because I don't know if he was keeping that one down for a moment, but I'm gonna jump off the topic and then we can spread. Dolly can get spread a little bit more. I think she's such a lady that has impacted so many of us, our lives. I just want to hear what Drop Mix have to say on this one.
Thank you, Mikey. I would just touch a little bit on Dolly, just piggyback a little bit on Mario, because one of my favorite Dolly Partner song, and growing up, I remember hearing the song on the radio quite often, is Island in the Stream. And of course, I don't know if anybody remember, but he has teamed up with Kenny Rogers, and those are the persons who did Island in the Stream.
Yes, Kenny Rogers and Dolly.
One of the singer that I listened to as I grew up, and listened on radio and all that. But going a little bit further into the music and the political side and the cultural side, something came to me today while I was working, and it is music is used over the years, over the centuries, even from Bible days. Music is used as a celebration. If you can think of anything, any event now that you're having without music, it's hard to think. And when I thought about it today, I thought about Nebuchadnezzar and the golden statue. And of course, when he made the statue and he decided that he wanted the people of Babylon to worship him, one of the first things that came up was music, and that's why the three boys were caught in it, because he said when you hear the sound of the music, when the music starts, you need to worship me. So music is used as a celebration, weddings, parties, you name it, whatever it is, home, anything at all that you can think of, which is an event, has some form of music. And so that is why music has shaped the society culturally in such an impactful way. Because you have music for different things, different type of music. If you want to go out to a wedding or a romantic setting, you will have love music. If it's a party outside of Christianity, you'll have either dancehall or culture or reggae or anything of that nature. So music is has shaped us in a way that we can't resist it. I'll just pause there and allow you to continue, Mikey.
As you said that, for for some unknown reason, there's a man by the name of Fletcher, Andrew Fletcher. Somebody phone is ringing, so we have to understand it's one of those things. All right, we still have a few persons on. Here is where we are today. We have to give some homage to the idea that music plays this very important role or part in our, not in our society, but on a personal level. Andrew Fletcher says, and I'm paraphrasing, let me write your songs and I don't care who write your laws. I'm paraphrasing the song. I'm paraphrasing the quote. What that says is quite a bit. I don't know if you understand the concept of writing the songs and not caring who write the laws. Because the songs that we listen to eventually culture the mind of a people, that whatever laws will be written with the sentiments of the songs or the lyrical content that they have received and embraced over time. So carefully we have to be looking at the idea of what are we putting out in our society? What are we promoting when we are listening to music in general? If we say, for example, we are listening to rap music, we're listening to reggae music, dancehall music, pop music, whichever genre of music you say, even R&B, rhythm and blues, R&B, jazz, whichever it has the same effect of culture in the mind. So the question is asked, I would ask this evening, if this is true, are we doing a fair job of ensuring that our next generation, the ones who come after us, are in much better shape of making better laws by listening to the music that we are playing? That's a question I throw on the table.
Oh boy. I think if that is the case, we're doomed. You know, so for those who don't know, I engineer for Des on the drum mix. And Des was playing some music one night, and I was saying to Des while he's playing, Des, music is dead. They're not writing music the way they used to write music before. And the lyrical content now is so weak that as a people, I think we're going to suffer. As a youngster growing up, I remember music comforting me. I grew up in the Methodist Church, and we have a very extensive hymnal written mostly by John Wesley. And he wrote some beautiful hymns. And I remember when we went to church and we sang those hymns, they always took us to a place of reverence and thanksgiving. When you're home and you're listening to, the other secular music, there are songs that we listen to that meant something to us. I took some records back to Cayman recently, and I was playing one from a singer called Ouija. Children, hold on to your dreams. You remember that one?
I love that song. I love that song.
And you remember the time when this song was the graduation song for
Decades,
whole
decades,
generation?
decades.
Children, hold on to your dreams. If you believe in love, love will be the light to
Yes.
show the way.
Yes.
Yes, we are not getting those lyrics anymore. We're not getting that vibe. We're not getting that energy. We're not getting that love being portrayed through music anymore. And I think this is a serious problem for our society in general. The generations that are coming up after us are going to be at an emotional deficit. You know, I am I am I just feel like we're missing something.
Well, what I do know, I just made a statement earlier, and I know that uh, Edgar and is going to say something about it. But just looking at where the music is heading, in fact, we can't say it's heading anywhere. We can't say it's there where it is right now because I don't believe it can get any worse than this.
Ah,
No, no. In all fairness, I don't believe what we are listening to can get any worse than this.
careful, they might take it as a challenge.
I leave that on the table.
When we reflect on some of the songs in the past, there were some songs that were, well, they had very expressive content, and not very, not the kind of songs that you'd want your son and daughter to listen to. So we know some of those songs. I would have heard some of those songs. But the problem I have nowadays is that there's less expressive content in that, to a large extent, a singer will just use a couple lines and repeat that over and over and over again. And it happens not just in the secular world, but in the religious world.
No, it is crazy in the religious world.
Persons are not encouraged nowadays to really express themselves. And you mentioned Mikey G, Robert Nesta Marley.
Yes.
And one of the things that he did was to express himself. You know, and music is that form where we can all exercise that freedom of expressing ourselves. We may not necessarily need to sing out loud to someone else, but even in our bathrooms and even in our minds, we can sing a song and express our thoughts and express our feelings, express our emotions. But persons who have gone before us, like Robert Nesta Marley, their expression publicly helped to shape our thinking about freedom, our thinking about liberty, our thinking about life, our thinking about well-being, our thinking about identity. And it challenges us too to make sure that our expressive content nowadays will help the next generation a step further than where their legacy or their work helped us.
So, all right. So, I have a concern, and just to add, probably to join to what Edgar is saying, but I have a concern because outside of religious music, we have a wide genre of other music, and you're talking about expressing yourself or expressing yourself through music. I think that Mario mentioned the song, or Mikey mentioned the song that Dolly Partner did earlier, Working 9 to 5. Now, that's a song that is common or is associated with working class people. People who work. It's natural, working 9 to 5. Yeah. So we can understand that. We can associate with it. And if we listen to the song, we can take something from it, even if you're young. Because if you're young and you're growing up, eventually you're going to be working. Now, the concern I have is the songs today, some of the songs, especially in the reggae or dancehall world, that promotes violence and something negative. Now, if you're going to make an impact as a musician and you're going to put together a song that promotes the use of gun or assaulting women or anything derogatory, the society, the younger generation, remember we grew up as adults and we grew up with Dolly Parton and Kenny Rogers and all of these guys, and they were what I call family songs, meaning that you can play them anywhere. Some of them can even be played in church. Now, when you come up with songs that encourage violence, I'm saying, what kind of society then are we promoting? How will the next 10, 15, 20 years be? Because people are taking the music, taking messages from the music, just like how we took messages from the Bob Marley and the rest of guys.
Well, that's a good question. That's a good question. And this is where the whole conversation is basically circling.
Just to add to that, to Mikey, maybe another line or two. I remember when I was growing up, because I had radio at home. Radio was the only media at the time. And there were selected songs from the radio called Not Fit for Airplay.
Yes.
Whatever was on those songs, I wouldn't even know because they were not fit for airplay. No, I don't think the radio, the media has that. I don't know if radio has that.
No, I think what we have now, we are beeping out.
Delete.
Beeping.
A short beep over the swear word.
You beep it out or you edit out.
Yeah, but the whole rhyme leading up to it.
Yeah.
Has made the word painfully obvious.
Obvious, bro. Obvious.
Yeah.
I remember. I could come to this point. Here's where I could go. Saltfish. Nothing no nicer than saltfish. Nothing no sweeter than saltfish.
Yeah.
All saltfish sweet. That's a great. I think who is it? Lord Laro. I think it's Laro did that one.
Or that was Sparrow.
Sparrow?
I think it was the Mighty Sparrow.
Maybe Sparrow.
Yeah.
But this is a song, right? This song is not a song that is normally talking about saltfish.
No.
It's a very provocative.
It's a very, very, very provocative song.
But as a child growing up,
all we could hear was saltfish. The adults knew it was not saltfish.
I thought it was. No, my favorite dish was ackee and saltfish. So I understand why he says saltfish sweet. Right, and this is one of the things that poetic license that musicians now or songwriters now don't employ. They don't use that. They don't use a craft to say what they're saying in a manner that it could be ambiguous enough so that you know what they're talking about, but you know there's other meanings that you could infer from it, and it could be completely normal or innocent. Sparrow singing about saltfish. I think he was singing about saltfish. The catfish that
and
you could get, and you could roast it, you could fry it, you could soak it overnight and cook it like regular fish, and you add it to your ackee. And saltfish was so versatile. I mean, it's sweet.
And the truth is, Mario, there's nothing in this song that says it's not saltfish.
Yeah, nothing at
Because
all.
everything that is said leads back to saltfish,
Yes.
can be connected to saltfish.
Yes.
However, if you interpret it otherwise, then it's your own interpretation. It's
Exactly.
just like the song, and I'll share another calypso with you by Lord Kitchener. The song says, "Give me the thing that the doctor ordered me."
Yes.
And you listen to that song that talk about the medicine and the medicine down my throat and all that. It's medicine, but unless you want to put in something else,
Give me this thing the doctor ordered me.
right? So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the truth is, even more songs, even though they can be perceived in more than one meaning, there are still clean lyrics that can be played
Yes.
anywhere.
But yes.
brings to mind Gregory Isaacs' Night Nurse.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. There's a song for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Here's where we could take this conversation. The people them want this song, and that's why we sing it.
Yes.
What do you make of that?
So here's what's happening now. Our society has become more liberal. The landscape has changed and is changing. Now one could argue that the songwriters also express the way of life of the people they grew up with, or they're expressing what is happening around them, what is happening in their communities. However, we also need to bear in mind that there's a lot of stuff that we grew up with that was not the most ideal, or as a matter of fact, for many of us, was far from ideal. And we observed those things and said, well, I don't want that, or I don't want this, and seek for the ideal. So the musicians themselves have a responsibility to help promote those ideals, and not necessarily to celebrate the less than ideal happenings or circumstances that they grew up with.
We are talking about when music hits, you feel no pain. Of course, this is Flash Talk, and of course we're going to take a break, a little break, a small one. And when we come back, we're going to still touch on the topic. As so the people them want it. This is what the people ask for. This is what they want. And so the music that we are listening to now is what we are getting because the people want it. Is this a true statement, or is somebody making this statement up? When we come back, we're going to explore it a little bit more and find out if there's any truth to this statement.
When you need ultrasound that's safe and effective, you must visit Asai Ultrasound Imaging. They're conveniently located at number 4, Chestnut Center, Smith Road, Georgetown, Cayman Islands. With experienced technologists with over 20 years experience, their friendly staff will make you comfortable while you get your procedure done. Asai Ultrasound Imaging is open Mondays to Fridays, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Saturdays. Call Asai Ultrasound Imaging 345-949-2454 or 345-938-3426. That's 345-949-2454 or 345-938-3426.
course, welcome back. Of course, it's Flash Talks, and we are talking the Uncut edition. We're talking a little bit about Selfish a while ago, and of course, we have this song, and we were talking about it. I grew up on this song, Selfish, not no nicer than Selfish. And every time I'm listening to music now, I always come back to this song. And people could sing so many different explicit songs, but yet still it was something that it was palatable. We could listen to it. Children could listen to the song. It could be played on the radio, and we would not be affected by it. Of course, welcome back to Flash Talks. Of course, panel here is anxiously waiting to discover to tell you a little bit more about what we think about and the people them say them want it.
Well, I think the reality of it is, Mikey G, if the people don't appreciate the music, it doesn't get played. If you think about the response to music is measured not so much now in airplay but in streaming. And when all the music in the world is available online and you stream a particular song, when a whole region starts to stream a particular song and that song gets popular, then this is what the people want. So if you look at it in that respect, it's not even so much now. Remember back in the day, they used to talk about this thing called payola, where the producers would pay a disc jockey to play a particular song on the radio.
Right.
So I have a little guy singing and doing a thing, and I know there's a radio show, so there's down the street and I get there's this record and I get there's a couple $100 and say, boy, there's play that tune here. And every day there's come in and say, yeah, I have a new artist and the song I gotta take life and then play the tune. Whether the song nice or not, you hear it so often that it now becomes something that you maybe anticipate hearing, something that you tolerate. And eventually the song becomes popular if enough people start to push it. That isn't the case anymore. All of this music is out there in the world for streaming, and what you go to YouTube and search for, what you go to Spotify and search for, what you go to Apple Music and search for, this is what is coming to the fore as the popular requested music.
I want to say to you, go ahead.
Yeah, the music that is the type of music that is emerging from all the different genres, from all the different artists and styles, is what is popular with people who are streaming music online. So we have to stop and wonder, is this is really what we like?
Well, here's something that I would say to you also, to bring some clarification to some of that, is that even though the streaming is where it is, there are still platforms now that are actually being paid to stream songs because they have a following of boasting songs, as it were. So the thing take a different turn a little bit. It shifts. So as I'm in music, I could set up a streaming. I could just come on Flashpoint and just have a segment and a show where I do a stream where all I'll do is just big up different songs and play different songs and just give them some forward, and people send me the music and stuff, and because we're popular, people give us the music and then we play it and they pay for us to do it. Because by us playing it, it is going to be seen by many going. So the principle remains the same in so many ways. So we have to still watch and measure it in that sense, that there are some songs that probably wouldn't get any forward, but because certain people playing it all the time, it becomes a little bit more popular amongst the populace, the society, and we might hear it. We might be able to hear it because it is being played by some people, and so we have to look at it. But as you said, the people who choose it is the persons who are listening to it. I don't know if that's the case. I'm gonna leave Des and Edgar to tell me what they think about that statement. People want the music, so they listen to it, and that's what they are choosing.
I have a different view of it, Mikey, because if you picture a baby born and whatever you feed that baby with, that child will grow up appreciating the taste. If you have not fed that baby with that thing, the child might not know how it is. And I see the same thing with music. If you don't give the people a certain music, they can't crave for it. They don't know it. And when we were growing up and we would listen to the Manhattans and the Drifters and those singers from overseas and local reggae singers, those are the kind of music that we knew then. Now, fast forward maybe 10, 15, 20 years back, when we have these newer artists, and I can call some like Alkaline and those artists. The modern society know these artists and they know the music. Now, if those artists did not come up, if the old artists were still existing, playing music, those artists would be the ones that the modern society know. So I'm saying all of that to mean that whatever the artists put out, the output of the artist is what the people will get and eventually appreciate.
I would use a little bit of your conversation a while ago.
The artists have a lot to do with the kind of music that the people appreciate.
I will use a little piece of what you just said a while ago about the food. How many Jamaicans, I'll ask a question and we can answer this. You don't have to answer it all the way, but you can listen to it and you can answer it. How many Jamaican children you know now who just love pancake but don't know that dumpling and banana and ackee and salad?
Okay, all right. I want that, but yeah.
No. I just put it on the table because you said it, and this is something that I don't even like. I see people eating taco, and I don't want no taco to eat. But people love taco, and I say cook some dumpling and banana, and the children who are of this same Jamaican heritage don't know what dumpling and banana is. And if you cook it and give it to them and eat the ackee, me not like ackee. So when you mentioned that a while ago, for me that's my thought on foods and the taste of music in a sense, and I would use this as a good segue into saying that I would agree 100% with the idea of whatever we feed ourselves, we will like that. I think Edgar wants to say something on this.
Yes. But the truth is that the musicians themselves are from communities, they are from the society, and they know what is happening on the ground, so to speak. They know what is happening in the homes. And when it comes to music, especially in our Caribbean context, there are no intellectual barriers, so to speak. There are very few things that create a bridge between the upper class and the other classes, like music. And it was when I went to UWI that it became more apparent to me that these intellectuals love the dancehall music. And I mean, when we're talking about dancehall music here, we're talking about the hardcore dancehall music. And you would imagine that these intellectuals would go for more refined, in quotation, music. But that's the music they love. So, to an extent, the musicians are giving the people what they want. That's true.
Okay.
And there are many factors why they're doing that. Well, chief among them is the money. So sometimes, or probably many times, or to a large extent, music can be considered or work like a drug. You know, whether or not it is going to uplift you, you give the people just the same because that's what they want. And it takes a mature artist, a mature musician to initially meet the people where they are and then introduce something better, because I agree with the fact that if you do not introduce something better, then the people are not going to be exposed
To something better.
to something better. So give the people an option by introducing something better.
Yes.
You know, here's something. Here's something I want to say. Edgar, you raise a very good point, right? And we keep saying that people want it. I'm gonna just give I'm gonna tell a little story now, quickly, a little small analogy. I'm gonna give one, and we're gonna see if the people are like this. My mother tell me this. Right? So when people hear about my mother tell me a whole heap of things. All right. So my mother tell me this. She says, if you get a pig and you beat him, and when I say beat him, it doesn't mean it's a male pig. It's just a pig. It could be a female pig, right? But when Jamaicans talk, they don't. When they say beat him, it don't mean male or female. It means just the same thing. But anyways, you get the pig and you beat him, and you put on and you powder him, perfume him up, clean him up, nicely scrub behind the ears, everything, and put a nice red bow tie around the neck. And then you want to do one more thing. You're going to get a nice fluffy bed, white, lily white, clean and pretty, nice, smell good, perfume, everything. And then put it one place down the road, just give it like a distance, maybe a half yard down the a meter down the road. And then you do the same thing. Get a nice stinking puddle of mud with maggots and worms and everything marinating in that, and then take the pig and put him like a meter away from it and let him go and say, go on, you're pretty and you're well sweet, you're nice, you're a university degree, you're a doctor, you're a professor, you're a teacher, you are a well Christian young lady or young man who grew up in the church, and you and let it go. And which one thing you think the pig going to choose? A nice soft fluffy perfume, well powdered bed and everything nice and soft with feathers, everything in the pillows when you lie down and he just hug you, or the nice big smelly mug. When you let go the pig run and take a look around towards the night, and you take a little turn and jump in the middle of the are we saying that this is where our society is today? I don't know. I don't know who want to take that. I don't
The pig goes to the mud because pigs don't sweat, contrary to that popular saying, sweating like a hog. Pigs don't sweat, and so the mud is used to actually cool them. Mm-hmm. So if you're talking about doing that in Jamaica, it's going to be hot, right? And so the people want to be cooled. So it's not even to say that the pig is doing it because it wants to. It needs to. It's necessity.
Pig likes mud.
Pigs need mud to stay cool. Mm-hmm. And so just like that, the people need the music to... it's funny. There was a video on social media after Hurricane Melissa last year. The hurricane was coming. The people had been told to evacuate. It had started raining. And there was a group of people who had nowhere to go. So they string up a song and they start to have a street dance. Melissa is coming. And they have a dance. Because what else is there to do?
Well, I saw that the same thing happened in Cayman some time ago. We remember something to that effect. When the Ivan story was coming, a bunch of people, Ocean Club was having a big party over there while the storm was happening. That's one of the many stories that went around. That was said. I think they said that they found the cars parked same place, but they didn't know where all the people went. No, I mean, I think they went somewhere. But but the cars were still parked there. I just remember that. I don't know where it came from, but you said something and it came up. I remember it. I think there's saying something. There's for you. Let me get this from you. The whole notion of big mentality that we love the mud kind of thing. For that reason, the music that we are going to choose to listen to or feed to ourselves is the most derogatory and it is the best one for us. And nobody seems to mind. And I'm talking about the fabric of society, people who are in the mainstream of society are the ones who are embracing it even more than everybody.
Let me be honest, Mikey. One of the things I like about life is that there are always choices. And in most cases, we have options. In terms of music, whatever music are there in the society, bearing in mind we are intelligent people, we are adults for the most part of it, we are adults. And so we are able to choose the kind of music that we prefer. For whatever reason, if one choose dancehall music over, let's say, gospel, this is our choice. And let's not fool ourselves. We know the music that are negative, and let me be straight. There are some music that are negative because music, the lyrics is what mainly affects us because that's what we hear, that's what we interpret. And there are lyrics that are not uplifting. It's not doing any good for anybody. It's not encouraging anybody. It's just there to tell you about what happened in the ghetto or what happened there or what you should do there. So those are not music that are uplifting. But if we choose to listen to them, we have a choice. We decide that. So even though the music, the various kinds of music are available, accessible, and are there, ultimately we choose to listen to the kind of music. Just like flash drop mix. I chose to play music religious and non-religious. However, I carefully choose the non-religious. Whatever music I play and drop mix, and even the pastor can listen if he wants to, because there's nothing in it that will deviate him from the norm or from morality or anything like that.
All right, so Edgar, you want to chime in on that, or you want me to drop the question?
Yeah, definitely.
All right.
Now, there are two scenarios from the Bible that came to mind, and my worldview to a large extent is shaped by what happened in the Bible. So I use the Bible very often as the lens through which I view the world. One scenario, as Sir Midwood mentioned earlier, the whole matter of lyrics, Well, I tend to see both the lyrics and the beat or the rhythm having a similar impact. And here's why. When David played for Saul, I doubt very much that he was singing words. He was just playing the harp.
Yeah.
He was just playing the harp. And by playing the harp, he could drive away the evil spirit. So, there is reason to believe that the opposite is also true, depending on how you play that music.
Mm-hmm.
It can have either a negative impact, where you encourage the presence of the Holy Spirit, or it has a Well, a positive impact, you encourage the presence of the Holy Spirit, or negative impact, we encourage the presence of the other spirit. Now, here's the other example from the Bible that I want to look at. Do you remember that conversation that Jesus had with the woman at the well?
Mm-hmm.
Even his disciples were surprised at him for having that conversation.
Yes.
Because initially, the woman may have seen Jesus as another prospect.
Mm-hmm.
But Jesus nonetheless still had the conversation with her. So Jesus took her from where she viewed him to a place where she could now view him as the Messiah. So bringing it home now to our music, as I mentioned before, the musicians themselves have a great responsibility of taking the people from where they are, the kind of music that they love. It could be the muddy kind of the muddy kind of music, so to speak. But they have a responsibility, or they have the power within their hands to take them from that stage, to give them something better. But that requires leadership. And can I even bring it closer home to church? And I've seen it and I've heard it, that some of our musicians on a Sabbath morning in divine hour, they are playing reggae. It's reggae music they're playing. And you may not, the average member sitting in the pew may not understand that what they're playing is actually reggae.
Well, here's
go further with this conversation to say whether reggae gospel is okay or whether dancehall gospel is okay, or I would say that it's
and this is the question. This is the question that I was going to go to. This is the question I'm going to go to. The question I was going to ask is, outside of the actual gospel mix of the song, not having a gospel mix. You mentioned earlier that when David played, he could play away the evil spirit.
Yes.
But the opposite is also true, or the latter is also true. That you could also invoke by playing. And so many people say this instrument is a devil instrument and that instrument is a devil instrument, and they identify different instrument that is devil instrument. And I'm going to say to people that I'm not going to agree with you. And I understand the idea of the drums and all that. I'm not going to agree with you like that, because I believe that all instruments are just that. It's like a gun. A gun is there and you can either use it to protect people from wicked people, or you can use it to be a criminal.
Yes.
I believe that's how instruments are. I believe with all my heart that's how it is. I believe the instrument in and itself is neither good or bad. It just is. To be used by anyone, right? But so the question is, I would go to this question. Yeah, you were saying, Edgar. You were saying.
No, I'm saying I agree with you.
Okay, all right. So let's ask this question then. The question I'm asking now is this: if this is true, if we listen to secular songs, and based on what we are listening to in terms of the gun songs, as it were, and the sexually provocative songs that we are now listening to, mind you, everything in society or everything in this world have its place.
Yes.
I'm not going to go beating up on people who are doing whatever they're doing, right? We are going to put the conversation simply here. The songs that we are listening to now on the radio are not fit for airplay. And there are some movies that are not fit for regular viewing with your kids around either. But do people watch them still? And so so the question is, would anybody, and I'm gonna ask it like this, would anyone take a pornographic material of a movie and have your kids sit down and watch it prime time in your living room with you? For the argument, for the sake of saying, and you're going to be somebody who say, "Oh no, watching porn." Stop yourself. Just a minute. Let's listen to the conversation and hear where we're going. Would you put your child watching porn with yourself in the middle of prime time, Sunday matinee style, your kids sitting around watching that kind of movie with you?
The simple response is no. So here it's a matter of appropriateness.
Okay.
And just to add to that there are many things that you will do with your kids. Many activities you will do with your kids. But as parents, we all know that there are many activities that we do as parents that we will not want our kids to be around at that time.
So
hence the need for appropriateness and appropriateness in terms of place, appropriateness in terms of time, appropriateness in terms of content, appropriateness in terms of activity.
Let me ask this question then. And so I don't know if Mario wants to say something on that. You want to say something on Mario?
Sometime before this question came up, I was thinking in my mind just now that I don't want this to be a dancehall bashing session.
No, I don't want, because that's where I want to bring something. I'm coming now. I want to say something on this. That's why I brought the topic up.
There are very, very good, wholesome artists still in dancehall who are trying to bring a positive message and bring good, wholesome teaching to the masses. But my question is, how do we get people to discern that what you're listening to is trash and move away from it? And when I say that, called to mind a song. I don't know the name of the song or the artist, but I'm going to say a line from it. Fully dunce in the back of the class, no subject. Something about girl in the Mark X and some bounce check stuff. It was very popular in Jamaica.
Yes.
One of them scammer songs.
Right.
And the entire nation was grooving to this song. And the first thing I hear in it is fully dunce. Back of the class. No subjects. And I'm thinking,
Well, here's where the conversation could get you. Fully dunce, but driving a Mark X and have more money than those who go to school.
yes. That was the gist of the thing.
So what is he saying? That education is making you a fool?
It is a waste of time.
Education is a waste of time. Now, I know that there isn't say anything on the topic yet, but in your context and you in your line of business, where do you see this kind of a mentality leading?
That's a question to me?
Yes, sir.
Sorry, I didn't realize was my question. To be
Yes.
honest with you, and this is my belief, Michael. I don't think this is going anywhere. And I'll tell you this. We will always have the criminals, the persons who don't want a lot of education. We will have everybody in society. It will continue. But I'll tell you this. In a modern world, in a technologically driven world, in a world that is becoming more and more intelligent, I don't see this going anywhere. People still, and I don't say people, the majority of people is going to go for the education, is going to go for the career, proper career in life, and they're going to be somebody worthwhile in society with families and all of that. So yes, there are a few that view things different. If you finish school and you're not fully educated for whatever reason, whether your parents could afford it or you just couldn't manage the subject, and you find yourself in a situation where you become a mason or a carpenter or whatever trade or skill you might have, and it helps you to become who you are, fine, quite fine. But the notion of people not going to school, not getting their education because they want to involve in criminal activity, I don't see going anywhere. And that's my opinion. I could be wrong.
Well, all right. Here's what I wanted to segue into earlier. When we asked the question about the movie, would you watch this movie with your kids at prime time? I
No, I wouldn't.
Personally,
I wouldn't.
you wouldn't. I don't think Edgar would even
Yeah, I
think
wouldn't.
about it much less too.
It would be inappropriate.
All right. I assign music in the same category. In categories. There are adult songs, and there are songs that are not fit for children to listen to. But then guess what? The same movies that you wouldn't watch with your kids, they are watching it by themselves too.
And that is where we need to control access.
All right? No. I just want to bring a point here. And they're watching it. They're watching it, right? So you cannot say that they can't watch it. Well, you can stop them from watching it, but you can try to stop them, but they will always try to do it if they want to do it. You can watch it at your house, Edgar, Mario, but they go to the friend's house and that's where it is.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to bring to this conversation is the idea of music, where there are some songs that is just adult songs. Adults, and them have them party and them doing them stuff and them want to play them songs. I went to a party one time and I was asked to play some music. And this is me being in dancehall, back in the day. And I was gonna play some songs. And I started to come to my consciousness. And I said, but there are kids in the room and I can't play these songs and the kids are here. Yeah. After a certain time, I'll pick me up and leave the dance. And this was a rule for me back in the day that when I started playing music, and this was something that was a little tedious because you're going to hide somewhere, but it was known that every child must leave the dance at a certain time. You can't be in the dance. And any adult see them in the dance, get them out. It was something that we tried to do. I don't know how effective it was. I think it was effective enough because we wanted it. And as I continued playing music, I realized that I couldn't play music, certain songs with certain kids, with the kids around. Started bothering me. And so that, for me, I would have, if you are an adult and have an adult party and you wanted to play some music, I could play. But if it was kids around, no, because you want that, but I could not play it for the kids being there. And I've gone to some functions even recently that I'm even asked to play some songs that would, and this would be like a wedding, or maybe a anniversary or something. That's what I'm talking about. And the persons would want some of those songs to be played. And I cannot play them because I know it's not appropriate and children are around. Now, you can balance your DJ skills with your music and your money, making these decisions on people's business. So for some functions, I don't take your function. If you want me to do this, you can keep your money. That's what I could do. However, the lineup of the conversation is this. That I believe that adults are capable of taking care of themselves and choosing what they want for themselves. And if they choose this, it is fine. But I don't believe that children should be so in the same space and have the same access to it. And adults and children are laughing and gyrating to the same songs in the same party and the same place and having a good time saying that it is okay. That's how I feel about it. The same thing with porn. If you as an adult want to watch it, it's up to you. But you shouldn't be encouraging your kids to watch it with you. And I believe that the music now is becoming porn and to a level of degree of violence that is criminal. That's what it is. So we still have to draw a line somewhere. And I believe that the artists can sing their songs, but I don't believe that the adults should be so glad to have the children listening to it and then dance to this one and telling them to dance to it. I've watched this over and over again.
Dance, but recording it and putting it on social media.
Yeah.
That is especially distasteful.
That's where I'm going with it. I don't have a problem with the adult wanting to listen to songs, you know. I don't have a problem. You're adult, you can choose. And I believe that's where I take the conversation. I'm not going to beat up the artists to sing them songs. They can sing whatever they want. Because I've gone to places already, I've seen many things how many people selling narcotics? How many persons want to buy it?
Yeah.
You see? And so we have to now know that we have a responsibility to ourselves. And beyond that, we have a responsibility to our children. In the sense that we now need to be the one to govern those availability or access to certain things. Cayman has just putting something just recently, banning the cell phone in schools. I would look at that just for a moment, and then we're going to take a short break. And when we come back, we're going to talk about I think we just touch on how does the church then, or Christians, can Christians listen to secular music without sinning? But let me hear you on the cell phone thing first, and then we're going to go for a short break, and then we come back quickly. Everybody can take a little piece of that.
I spoke about the telephone thing last night on Conversation After Dark. I am actually very excited for the telephone ban because I think these children are definitely way too connected. And they are also too distracted all the time when the cell phones come into play. I think it's a good move by the education minister. They are also there's also a plan to go ahead and they're trying.
Cut the stream. We're taking a break, and then when we come back. Alright, so we are listening to Flash Talks here on Flashpoint Radio, Flashpoint Media. Welcome back. We just had a small break, so when we come back, we want to just ask a question when on this last bit of it. What do we think about the idea of Christians listening to secular music, and if they're sinning if they're listening to secular music? Alright, Mario, you want to grab a piece of that?
Yeah, so if I pick you up and I'm taking you to church and I stop on the way to church, use my illegal gun, rob a liquor store, and shoot the proprietor of the liquor store, and come back in the car, and the police stop us you are going to jail. You are going to be charged with illegal possession of a firearm. You're going to be charged with accessory to murder. You're going to be charged as an accomplice to the robbery, and a few other things probably. Were you involved in any way, shape, or form? Were you just going to church? But you were there. You were there, right? So the question is, can you listen to secular music and feel comfortable? I don't know. What secular music you listening to? I remember playing a song for some of the Flash Talk team the other day. Song by called Melanie C, formerly of the Spice Girls. And it's an interesting song. It's called I Turn to You. And it's not a gospel or a Christian song as far as I know. But the lyrics would suggest that she is singing about Jesus. And does it make anybody want to be better, live a better life, act better? I don't know. But the question is, if you are in a situation where you're listening to, boom flick and drop and split and, do all these things, or, I love all of the gun them kind of thing, what exactly are you, what mindset is that going to put you in, and what are you prepared to do following that? So I don't think that it is appropriate for Christians to engage in. It's very risky to say, it's like saying I'm a Christian, but I'm going to pass by this satanic shop and buy some candles. Not because I want to worship Satan, but the candles smell nice. And I'm going to keep them in the house and light them up from time to time.
I'll leave that on the table for Edgar.
Yeah.
Interesting response. Some persons may describe that as being conservative. However, what I take from Mara's response is the whole notion of mindset. That's key. Mindset. And what are the next steps? Suggesting what motives do you have in mind? So that's key. The mindset and the motives for listening to a particular song or for doing anything whatsoever considered secular. Because there are many things that Jesus did that persons could describe him as being secular. For example, sitting and eating with publicans and sinners, and probably even being at some of the feasts. Persons could describe it as secular. But what was his motive? His motive was to save the persons, right? Well, he's listening to these songs just for self-gratification. He's listening to these songs just to waste time and just pass the time. What motives do we have for doing that? I'm not going to be the one to judge motives. There can be some good motives or admirable motives for doing certain things, but one has to decide, and one has to criticize themselves as to whether or not this is going to be beneficial to me, or how beneficial is this to me, or what is the best use of my time. Can I do something better than this with my time? Are there better recreational activities? I would not necessarily be one to listen to Romping Chop or Vibes Cartel. But interesting to note that there are, when I studied overseas, my African friends, they are the ones who were telling me about, Vibes Cartel and Bob Marley. And they were the ones who loved the patois. And there are certain folks who love other songs too. I mean, some of the songs that we know that are not there, that we would not necessarily recommend for our children, and that contains, that contain unwholesome words from start to finish.
So there's your take on it. Your take on music. Can Christians listen to secular music?
Picking up from what you guys are saying, I would assume that you're talking about the appropriateness of songs.
Listen to secular songs,
right?
As a Christian.
I think everything has its time and place. And secular as it may be, as long as it's not derogatory or, disgracing anybody or promoting violence, I think all of these songs at some point you may find a place to fit them in. And for example, let me give you an example. If you are in a position where you are at home with your partner and you want to get in a romantic mood, I wouldn't expect you to be singing Hallelujah, praise the Lord. It is not appropriate. Nothing is wrong with the song, but at that time and that place, it's not appropriate. So for me, songs, you as an individual, choose a song. Look at your songs that you are comfortable with and put them in the appropriate space and place. That's me.
I'm gonna let me just say, because of course this is Flash Talks. The Uncut edition.
Not to sound blasphemous in any way, but one could argue that it could be that a song like Near My God today would be more appropriate.
Oh, God.
So I think that songs are the place. But then I answer that if you choose as an individual, Edgar, if you choose not to listen to this art, you choose to play
Jesus love me, this I know.
No, you have to look at the depth at which you're talking about the song is going, because I mean, a love song is different from a ramping shop kind of thing. If that's what gets you in the mood, okay. But yeah, you're going to talk about there are different levels to it.
So
yeah,
if I can share something with you guys, just for the next minute or so before we close. As I talk about appropriateness, I remember I went to, and I can share with you the place. I went to, it was a family seminar, family series of seminar at King's Church. And I had a burning question. And I decided to ask the question one night. And I think it was a overseas pastor. And I asked the question, I said to them, as a couple, if you and your couple, if you and your partner are in your intimate space and your intimate mood, is there a limit to the words that you use to each other? And they didn't answer the question. And I guess you will understand what I mean when I say the words, because this is yeah, but you and your partner, you're engaging in love making. Is there a limit to what you say to each other? Now the pastor even this morning didn't answer me. Now we're in a modern society. We're in a modern in terms of knowledgeable and intelligent. And there's no going around it, people. When you're engaged with your partner in your intimate mode, you're engaged. And you're gonna talk, you're gonna express yourself. Now, do whatever you say in that space, as long as the partner is comfortable, to me it's appropriate. Now, saying it outside is a different thing. And that is just for me. Come back to the music. As far as I'm concerned, if you think it's appropriate in the space that it is, then for me, that's it. Nothing is wrong.
But I wanna say this one has been the Flash Talks for the the year. I'm gonna say near my God today sounds a reasonable one. As we talk about our partners, and of course we are finishing the show now. Of course, it's the last comment we're gonna make. We're gonna get off this platform. We're gonna say thank our listeners, our audience this evening for listening, for joining us this evening for this edition of of Flash Talks, the Uncut edition. But here's how we're gonna leave it. I believe that music plays a very integral part in our lives. As we talked about secular music, we talked about it, but immediately as we say secular music, we went to dancehall or we went to these different genres. But it could just simply be some souls that says, "Come and rock me now, baby, I love you," that kind of thing. And so we're asking if Christians listen to these songs, are they sinning? Whether or not, I'm not going to answer that one definitively here. I'm not going to be the judge of it, if you can or can't. But I don't see someone in their personal life loving someone being dictated to by somebody else outside of that, how you should interact with an individual. Of course, me myself, I am bilingual, especially when I'm in that mood. I speak different languages. So I'm going to say it like that. Of course, this has been Flash Talk, guys. Uncut edition. Today we had a wonderful time with our guests, with our panel, the man Mario, of course, Des, and of course Edgar this evening. We had a wonderful time. This has been an uncut edition of Flash Talk. See you next week, same time, same place, right here on Flashpoint Media.
This is Flash Talk, the Uncut edition. Say it just how you feel it.
No filters, no fluff, just real talk with the full Flashpoint fam. Get with it.
From hot takes to belly laughs, the crew is locked in and ready.
From debates that might get a little spicy, including all VIP members.
This is where vibes meets voice, jokes meets proof, and we talk things.
We are here to get real.
It's raw, it's real, and it's about time.
Small island, but big conversations.
This is Flash Talks, the Uncut edition. Flash Farm. What are the things there now? Real people, real voices, real conversations.
Flash Talk, the Uncut edition, at 7 p.m. every